Today is Thursday, September 29, and this is the 7th day, and it's the final day of the log build on this structure. They're now just beginning to put in some of the valley rafters, and a little tricky to get those to fit just right. These are the custom cut valley rafters. Each one is numbered, like you see right there, that's V11. You remember I mentioned earlier about using these 18-inch VRK screws. Look at this. This is why it's got to go all the way through this rafter and sink into the beam below. You can see we had to set up the scaffolding.
2, 3.
They get way up there to set those valley rafters in place. The pile of logs down there on that tarp has gone down considerably. We only got a dozen or so more rafters to put up to complete the roof structure on the cabin. We're getting ready to set the 2 posts for this front deck. We have to rig up some way that we can brace them by putting some lumber between those 2 concrete piers. Again, Jerson's the man. Wave to the camera, Jerson. These 2 deck posts have to be cut precisely to length, and then they have to be drilled in the center to sit on top the pins that we put on the concrete piers. It's been really great to have such nice weather this whole week. Can you imagine if we were doing this when it were pouring rain up here in Glacier? But you can see all the rafters in. Look at the complexity of those valley rafters and how they attach right there in the center. So the roof's completely done. The only thing left is the front porch structure. With the log structure completed, you'll notice the voids there in the walls below the bedroom rafters. That's going to get conventional framing and wood siding. We still have a good pile of rocks. Of course, we're going to use these throughout the property to do some very nice rockscaping, as you call it. And we're down to the very last few logs that we're putting up on the deck facing north. This is the deck that's facing Church Mountain. Let's see just how accurate this cuts are. Tap it a little bit with that big 8-pound hammer. And it drops right in place. This is the last big log to go up. It's going to go from the peak right up here on down on top of that deck roofing. After 7 days, this is going to kind of wrap it up. You know, I asked the guys, how many logs do we have in here? And they said, we have no idea. So someday I'm going to have to come in here before we start closing everything up and count the number of logs that are in this structure. Say Yahoo, Jerson.
Yahoo!
The last log has gone up. While we've got Guy here, just before he leaves, we're going to have him lift a couple of these old rotten logs we've had here on the property to set them in for landscaping detail. We'll set this down here over in this mossy area, and within a couple of years it'll just have some decorative moss going on it and be part of the permanent landscape. Look at that reach. Ease it right into position. Rod just had to get up on top there and admire his work. Job well done. So, you think we're finished? No. Now that the log structure is up, the work begins again all over. Now it's time for plumbing. And the log structure is complete, and now it's on to the next phase, the race to get the roof on before the winter sets in.